Yep, the title of the video says it all. Today we are going to do the exact same routine both on the BOSS RC505 Mark1 and the Mark2. The objective of the video is simply to compare the sound quality between both machines. So to be totally fair and even, I'm going to do a routine that I have been doing for years, that I can do exactly the same several times in a row. Obviously, it can only be a song that I could play exactly the same with the exact same settings on both machines. So for this, I will use Haters Love Me. I'm going to use exactly the same effects for both machines, whether it be an input or track effects. The BPM is also going to be the same at 157. The compression and master reverb on both machines is going to be equal. On both the Mark1 and the Mark2, I will bring the USB out to 50 in order to avoid saturation. The audio you are going to hear will probably not sound great. And that is because I am not going to mix or master anything. It's going to be the raw audio coming out of both loops. The only thing I will do, and that is for the MK2 on the rap part, I will apply a flat EQ. I won't change the lows, the mids, the highs, I won't change anything. I'll just put the level up for the rap part. And that is because on the Mark1, when I rap, I turn up the input knob to raise my vocals. But since I cannot do it on the Mark2, I'm just going to use an EQ just as a shortcut basically to raise my vocals. But this will have no effect at all on the actual instrumental. And one last thing also, just to make it totally even, I will do as much takes as possible in order to have the best take on each machine. And I will edit the video so that we can move every now and then from the Mark1 to the Mark2 and vice versa. So here is Haters Love Me on both the Mark1 and the Mark2, exactly the same. Enjoy.
Changing my flows, I'm on clothes, I'm loving my role, I'm on pros, I'm hating nobody. You know when I promise I'll let it above. Well, I just wanna be GRE80s true. Anybody who goes against me may have to make a list of what it means. It's just so heavy, they wanna fuck with me, bro. Yeah, no one can mess with my flow. Hey, I'm gonna show you some more, cause I'm taking a lead on the score. Yeah, BRZ in the spot, Stiver in the mix in the potty. What should I pull it a shot, yeah. Taking my place in the spot, I'm just gonna make that, gonna take that, gonna make my dreams come true. I don't really give about a hit, gonna make another bang and dedicate myself for you. I said I'm just gonna make that, gonna take that, gonna make my dreams come true. All these haters talk about me, they just wanna fucking love me, yeah. All these haters love me. Hey, talk a lot, they know me. Yeah, yeah, I do this for the show. Yeah, nah, they never let me go. All these haters love me. Hey, yeah, talk a lot, they know me. Yeah, whoa, I do this for the show. Yeah, nah, they never let me go.
Alright, we are back. As you can see, I'm dressed differently because today's another day. I was not satisfied yesterday with the two takes on the Mark 1 and the Mark 2, so it took me long hours to find the exact same identical takes, both on the Mark 1 and the Mark 2. I know when watching the video of the track, it doesn't sound the same from one machine to the other, but trust me, it's the exact same thing. I did the exact same thing, the exact same settings, the same input sounds. Nothing was different. It just sounds different from the Mark 1 to the Mark 2. All right, everything I'm going to say is only based on personal opinion. I know I have to say this all the time because if I don't, people think I'm speaking facts and then they enter debates in the comment section. So this is my thoughts about what I did. So the drums sound different. Whatever EQ you had on the Mark 1, I think you'll have to adapt it for the Mark 2. It's not the same machines, so your EQ will have to be changed. Now, there's something interesting here. There's more texture, there's more sounds up front or in the background on the Mark 2, where on the Mark 1, it's just one massive break of sound coming at you. But for a song like Haters Love Me, where it's just really beat and bass, I think it works better on the Mark 1. Because Haters Love Me is really not a song with great sound designs. And I think that to get the best out of the Mark 2, loopers with rich sound designs will be rewarded, as I think that the Mark 2 is more suited for that. One thing that I really liked about the Mark 1 here in this experiment was the reverb. It takes up so much space in the spectrum and I love it because it makes the song sound more full. And one last thing I'll talk about. I talked about it in my first impressions video about the Mark II, but to me, once more, my opinion, the robot is very disappointing. I really tried to get the same sound that I used for Haters Love Me on the Mark 1, but on the Mark II, it just doesn't sound good. So I think this effect will not be used as much on the Mark II than it was used on the Mark 1, especially since now it can be replaced by other effects. But anyway, I hope you guys found this video useful and I'll see you soon, especially with more content on the Mark II. So peace.